Okay, this should be a fairly short video. This is going to show you how to set up your own personal web search engine, but then plug that in to n8n and you can use that with your agents. You can use it for research workflows. You're not going to be rate limited. It's completely self-hosted. It's free, which is better than using something like SerpAPI, which limits you to 100 searches. You can do one deep research and kind of, well, you'll blow through them within a couple of runs, right? So if you've got it local, it's unlimited, it's free, and I'm going to show you how to set this up really easily, and then do a quick little demo in n8n and how you gonna link that up and get it, searching. So it's called Xerx. I think that's how you say it, SearXNG, and they've got a Docker version, which is perfect. So you are going to need Docker installed. I'm assuming if you're running an n8n locally, you've already got Docker installed. You're going to need Git Bash, so you can do Git commands in your terminal. And that is really the only prerequisites you need. I'm going to set this up on its in its very basic manner, so it's not going to be complicated. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go into a folder here and just open up the command prompt there. And I'm going to copy this git clone command. So copy that, pop that in there. It's going to clone a repository. I'm going to cd into there. System could not find a path. Okay, that's because I'm typing cd first. Right, there we go. Now we're in the folder. Had me confused a little bit there. The next step is to run this funky looking command. So it's going to generate a key. Not sure if this is mandatory, but we're going to run it anyway. So we're just going to go and open PowerShell. I'm going to copy this folders path here, where we just clone that GitHub repository. And I'm going to cd in there. And then I'm going to copy this command, put that in there, press enter, and that is that done. Now, the next thing you need to do is edit this compose file. You don't need to, but I don't need to install Caddy or any of this extra stuff. So I have a Docker file already, a Docker compose file already. Let me just grab that and open that up in Visual Code. I'll put a link to this compose file and you can just copy that. And the only thing I've changed in this is I've got rid of a bunch of stuff. I've set a path to Xerx because that's where the settings file is going to be. We'll need to make one slight adjustment in there. And I've just changed the port and everything else. Yeah, I've removed it. So copy that, paste it into the one that we downloaded, save it, and that's it. And then we can copy this Docker compose up command. So if we come back into the normal command prompt here where we went and cd'd into that folder, we'll paste that in. It's going to pull the image. It's 60 megabytes. It says it somewhere, 66.8 megabytes. Very, very tiny folder. Or tiny image even, that's what it's pulling. So that's done. We can close the command window. That is up and running. If you've got Docker Desktop installed, you'll see this now. If you go over to your containers, this is running. You can select it, select report, and there we go. We have a personal search engine. Self-hosted, very, very cool. This uses Brave, it uses DuckDuckGo. It's got a shit ton of search engines that it uses. There's no Google ads. Fantastic. And to set this up in n8n is really, really straightforward. So if we go to where the path was, so in the compose file that you would have copied, the path here We're going to edit the settings file. We're just going to scroll down a little bit to where we see formats. And all I'm going to add there is -JSON. And that allows us to do search and get the results back in JSON format as opposed to HTML. It's just a lot cleaner. Then all we need to do is just restart the container. So stop that, start that. And now we can use this in n8n. And I'll show you a quick demo of that. So we'll set up a very basic AI agent, right? AI agent. It's already got the chat window there. We'll give it a model. I'll just use Open Router. That's fine. We'll give it a custom tool. We'll call this Web Search. Searches the internet. There we go. Internet. There we go. And we need to give it a URL. So it's going to be http://host.docker.internal. And then the port, which is going to be 8089. That's what we set. And then /search. And all we need to do is we're going to send query parameters, not send body. We're going to send query. Put Q. That's going to be determined by the AI. That's going to be, you know, what the search term. And then we're going to add another parameter called that format. This one we're going to define, and this is going to be JSON. And that is it for that. We'll just give it some memory. And now we can ask it stuff. Say, get some info. In fact, one of the things I'm going to do is in the agent's system prompt here, you are a helpful assistant. Tools. Web search. Use this tool to search the web. And I'm also going to put today's date in so it knows. So if we do that and then just put $now, you can see that there. And that should work. Let's see. So if I go and ask it, give me some info about Zerk. It's going off, searching the web, it's coming back. I don't think I didn't even spell that right, and it still managed to figure that out. Oh, great. Give me some resource. Thanks, please. Should always say please and thank you to your AI. And there you go. It's really that simple. You can, you know, you can have this as a HTTP node as a bog standard. So if you want to see what that looks like, come in as if it was not part of, if it wasn't an AI tool, we'll just put the same address in there, host docker internal, and the port /search, query parameters. I'll just put deep seek 3.1. That's going to be the search term. Format. So if we don't put this format in, this is what will happen. So if I just click go on this now, we're going to get a bunch of HTML, right? And this is not going to be great for the LLM. So if we put format JSON, now we've got a much cleaner result, right? Now we can just give this to the LLM if we want to, because maybe we don't need any of this stuff. we're just interested in the search results. And you can, if I come back to the tool here, you can see optimize response, containing results, and then the LLM's only going to get the results, not going to get confused by anything else. Interesting that it's plugged in there to the agent. And that's it. You can limit the search engine. So if you go engines, and then you could just say Google, Brave. That's executing that LLM. That's kind of weird. But now we're only going to get search results from Brave and Google. So that is very, very cool. That's all you need to do. You can hit this thing thousands of times. You're not going to get rate limited. Some search engines might rate limit you, but again, this is using, and we can see actually how many search engines does use. Uses a total of 231 different search engines. I don't know if that's true. It comes configured with 88 of these engines by default. So I think that's 233 is all the different things you can use, right? You can link up your SQL database to this thing. You can set all that stuff up if you wanted to. So I think that's what that large number. Out the box, you get 88, which is really cool. And that is it. It's as simple as that. You'll never need to pay for SerpAPI or Tavily or anything like that. This has been working for me. And this is useful for, if I just go to a workflow here, research team. So Nate, he built this. I've just switched out a couple of bits to use the web search tool that we just set up. And this is just, I've just put the topic as Kokoro TTS, tone, professional, adults. This is going to go off and do a bunch of research. And it's going to hit this search tool many, many times. And that's going to go off. What I'll do is I already ran this before, so I'll just show that execution. And you can see here, it hit this tool 17 times. This was just in one run. So you can see why this is quite powerful, because if you're researching, I don't know, maybe you've got 10 different products that you want to research, and that's gonna be like hundreds of searches there. And then at the end of it, there's a nice, you won't see it very well in this because it's all in HTML, but there's a nice newsletter at the end of it. I'll put a link to Nate's video where he covers all of this, and to adopt this search engine in is really, really straightforward. I will include a link to this exact workflow here, because I have switched out some of the agents and changed a few things, but fundamentally it's the same. And that's about it. If you have any issues setting that up, or you've got any questions, just let me know. I'll definitely do my best to help and answer that.